Morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, morning.
Good. Hey, Western Kentucky with that frenetic pace and such, they get the ball out of the quarterback's hands so fast that it pretty much took away any sort of pass rush thing. So statistics and numbers, I guess, don't really matter. But when you go back and watch that game on film, were you playing those receivers as tight as you wanted to, or were you off them more than you like? If you were doing anything over in that game, what would you have done over?
I think the tempo mixed with the splits, when they take those wide outs and put them right next to the sideline, I think that gets you a little bit off in coverage at times because of the bubble screen, and the run action. And they're really trying to get you to tip your hand with that. So I think there's certain scenarios if you had to do over, hey, we like to be a little tighter to this guy, so it wasn't a leaky 6-yard game. Maybe it could have been a 2-yard game. Maybe at times we would have set an edge on something so it didn't get out on the perimeter a little bit better. So I think as you go back and watch it, I think there are some times where you like to have a better force or better edge on some of those wide formations so that maybe you can stifle the run and challenge the pass routes a little bit better than that, yes.
Coach Allen said he felt like this was maybe Taiwan's best game of the season.
Sure.
He had some breakups, I imagine, probably also some stuff that doesn't show up because he's not getting the ball thrown his way because of his coverage. I mean, is that something you agree with? And I guess maybe more specifically, why this game? Just what was it about his performance that maybe popped off film a little bit more than
I make a big deal about challenging routes and defending the grass, right? And I thought in this game, I think a lot of guys can make plays on the ball down the field. He made a bunch of plays on balls from 0 to 16. And I think when you want to be an elite player at that position, you got to make plays between 0 and 16 and coming back toward the ball. And he did that about 4 times in that game, coming out of his break, challenging around the junction point, driving forward and making a play on the ball without grabbing, holding, or getting a PI. You go through a game where teams throwing the ball felt like every dang down, and you get 0 defensive holdings, you get 0 PIs. That means your secondary is playing with a certain level of technique. And I thought Taiwan played with exceptional technique, great break and vision. He junction routes, and he challenged balls down the field. So I for sure thought it was his best game. Not that he hasn't done really good stuff for us so far, but he really attacked receivers, and he had a really good on-ball percentage when it came to defending routes.
Yeah, you get Monster back in the secondary, and then Jalen Williams goes down with a concussion in the third quarter. I know he's in protocol this week. Who would be the third corner if he's out? I know Chris Keys is out too. You guys are still a little banged up back there.
You got anybody in mind? No, I think we've had some guys there from Taiwan and Reese. Noah's been over there. We got some guys that can do that and fill in that role for us. And we're very multiple in our package, and we cross-train our DBs in multiple spots just for this. My goal is always to get the best 11 on the field, not necessarily the best 11 by position. So we do have a bunch of guys on that back end that through spring ball, summer, and fall camp, we've cross-trained them to be able to play star, husky, corner, free safety. And so we feel like we have some guys that can step in and do that role as needed based on injury. But, when you hit the injury bug, the next man's got to be ready to step up and play.
Penn State obviously brought in a new coordinator, and they've been pretty successful so far. I know obviously you went on with this group last year, but have you seen a difference? I mean, you watched film from last year to this year to be able to tell some of these guys this is what they do different, this is what they do that you haven't seen.
I've sort of taken they have a body of work this year in the games they played enough to see what the coordinator's identity is a little bit and what he likes to do and the things he do to make it difficult for a defense. So I haven't really showed them last year's film because they are a lot different between tempo and formations and a little bit like these guys this past week. They're just a different tree of offense to me. So really been focused on their sample from this year, which is 4 games that you can dig into and see what they've done and allow you to give your guys an example of what they're going to expect on Saturday.
I think Monster was second on the team in tackles. Just getting him back, how key is that? And he's at a position where you expect him to get eight or more tackles.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, as a safety, you got to fit the run. And so when teams are opening you up and you're covering on the perimeter, that whoever that field player is in your defense, 100% you expect that guy to have tackles because, they apex and you out the box with one of your backers and somebody's got to be a fitter. So in our style of play, he is going to be a guy between blitzing, coming down, playing zone. He's the guy who's going to make a bunch of tackles for us. But his presence, his leadership, his leadership on the sidelines, his leadership during the game is huge for us. and he gives you an older presence when things start going a little haywire to calm guys down. We're going to be okay. Just execute. So it was great having him back. I'm happy for him. You know, that's all the work he's put in from last year, spring ball, summer, to get 10 plays in the Iowa game and have his season cut short there. But to have him come back and be with us was awesome.
Just kind of following up on all these injuries points over and over, like, has that made your job challenging?